Victorian ERA 18371-901. The Victorian era wasn't just about strict morals and elaborate etiquette. It was the period when modern life as we know it took shape. This was when science began to replace religion as the primary way people understood their world, and when technological innovation became an expected part of everyday life. During this time, humans gained powers that would have seemed magical to previous generations. They could talk across continents, telegraph, capture moments in time, photography, travel faster than any animal, railways, and light up the night. Electricity. Each of these innovations didn't just change what people could do, they changed how people thought about what was possible. This era also gave birth to modern professional careers and middle-class life. For the first time, large numbers of people could earn a living with their minds rather than their hands. The idea that education could lead to social advancement became widespread, creating new opportunities but also new social pressures. The Victorian period witnessed the peak of industrialization and imperialism, revealing both the creative and destructive potential of human progress. Cities grew larger than ever before, creating unprecedented wealth alongside desperate poverty. This contrast sparked new political movements and ideas about social responsibility. Perhaps most importantly, this era showed how rapidly society could change while still maintaining stability. The Victorians managed a revolution in technology and social organization without experiencing the kind of violent upheavals that had marked previous periods of rapid change. This created a model of gradual progress that still influences how we think about social change. World War ER 1914-1945. These 3 decades weren't just a period of unprecedented conflict, they were a crucible that forged our modern world. In just 31 years, humanity experienced more technological and social change than in the previous several centuries combined. The First World War shattered the optimistic belief in inevitable human progress that had characterized the previous century. It showed how modern technology could amplify humanity's capacity for destruction just as much as its capacity for creation. When the same chemistry that created fertilizers was used to make explosives, it raised profound questions about the direction of human progress. The period between the wars was like a worldwide laboratory for different political and economic systems. Communism, fascism, democracy, and various economic models all competed to shape the future. The Great Depression showed how interconnected the world had become. When one economy collapsed, all were affected. World War II wasn't just the largest conflict in human history. It demonstrated both the worst and best of human potential. While it showed humanity's capacity for industrial-scale evil in the Holocaust, it also showed our ability to unite against existential threats. The development of atomic weapons marked a new era where, for the first time, humans gained the power to potentially destroy themselves. This period taught humanity crucial lessons about the need for international cooperation and the dangers of extreme nationalism. The creation of the United Nations and other international institutions reflected a new understanding that global problems require global solutions, a lesson still relevant today.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Cold War 1 9 4 7 1 9 9 1. The Cold War wasn't just a standoff between superpowers. It was humanity's first experience living under the constant threat of global annihilation. This created a unique psychological state where people had to carry on with normal life while knowing everything could end at any moment. The space race wasn't just about reaching the moon. It showed how competition could drive unprecedented technological progress. The same rivalry that threatened destruction also pushed humanity to achieve things previously thought impossible. When Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon, it proved that even the most ambitious human dreams could be achieved with enough determination and resources. This era saw the birth of our modern technological world. The internet, satellites, and countless other innovations were developed either directly for the Cold War or using technologies created for it. Even the structure of our modern research system, with heavy government funding for scientific research, comes from this period. The constant ideological competition between capitalism and communism forced both systems to address their weaknesses. Western countries developed welfare states to prevent communist appeal, while communist countries had to find ways to motivate workers without using market incentives. This competition shaped modern ideas about the relationship between government and economy. Perhaps most importantly, this period showed that humanity could step back from the brink of destruction through diplomacy and gradual change. The peaceful end of the Cold War demonstrated that even the most seemingly permanent divisions can be overcome without catastrophic conflict. Information Age, 1970 to present. The Information Age isn't just about computers and smartphones. It represents the biggest change in human communications since the invention of writing. For the first time in history, any person can potentially reach most of humanity instantly and at almost no cost. This era has fundamentally changed how we think about knowledge. In previous ages, the challenge was finding information. Now it's filtering and verifying it. We've moved from information scarcity to information overload. This shift has transformed everything from how we learn to how we form relationships and make decisions. The digital revolution hasn't just changed our tools, it's changing us. Our brains are adapting to constant connectivity and instant access to information. We're becoming intellectual cyborgs, using our devices as external memory and processing power. This integration of human and machine capabilities raises profound questions about the future nature of human consciousness and identity. Social media isn't just a new form of communication, it's creating new forms of human organization and influence. Traditional power structures are being challenged as individuals can now build global movements from their smartphones. The Arab Spring and various digital activism movements showed how these tools can reshape political reality. Most profoundly, this age is creating a new form of human consciousness, one that's simultaneously more individual and more connected. we're experiencing the first stages of humanity becoming a networked species, with implications we're only beginning to understand. GLOBALIZATION ERA, present globalization isn't just about international trade. It's about the creation of the first truly global human civilization. While previous eras saw international connections, this period marks the first time that everyday life in most parts of the world is directly influenced by global forces. This era has created a paradox of identity. As the world becomes more connected, many people feel a stronger need to assert their local and traditional identities. This tension between global and local, between uniformity and diversity, is creating new forms of culture that are simultaneously universal and particular. The economic integration isn't just about free trade. It's creating a new form of interdependence where national boundaries mean less than ever before. Supply chains now span the globe, making every major product a world product. This has brought millions out of poverty, but also raised questions about economic inequality and environmental sustainability. Cultural globalization is creating something unprecedented, a global youth culture that shares more with each other across national boundaries than with older generations in their own countries. This is reshaping how culture evolves and spreads, creating new hybrid forms that transcend traditional categories. Perhaps most importantly, this era is forcing humanity to think and act globally. Issues like climate change, pandemics, and artificial intelligence can't be solved by any one nation. They require global cooperation on an unprecedented scale. Anthropocene. The Anthropocene isn't just a new geological epoch, it's the first time in Earth's history that a single species has become the dominant force shaping the planet's systems. We've become so powerful that our actions will be visible in the geological record millions of years from now. This period marks a fundamental shift in humanity's relationship with nature. We're no longer just adapting to our environment, we're now responsible for managing it. This power brings unprecedented ethical responsibilities. We must decide not just how to use resources, but what kind of planet we want to create. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's forcing us to rethink everything from economics to ethics. How do we balance short-term interests with long-term survival? How do we organize global cooperation on a scale never before achieved? These questions are pushing us to evolve new forms of thinking and organization. The current mass extinction event isn't just about losing species. It's about the collapse of complex systems that have evolved over millions of years. We're conducting an unplanned experiment with the only biosphere we know of, raising existential questions about our role as planetary stewards. Most profoundly, the Anthropocene represents humanity's transition from being just another species to becoming a force of nature itself. This new role requires us to develop new wisdom and new ways of thinking about our place in the world. Our challenge now is to become wise enough to handle the power we've gained. Digital Revolution 2000. The digital revolution goes beyond just technological advancement. It represents humanity's first steps into creating an entirely new reality layer. Unlike the information age, which digitized information, this era is digitizing experience itself through virtual and augmented reality. Artificial intelligence isn't just another technological tool, it's potentially the last invention humanity needs to make. We're creating entities that can learn and improve themselves, raising profound questions about the future of human work, creativity, and even consciousness. This marks the first time we're creating intelligence different from our own. The smartphone revolution wasn't just about portable computers, it transformed humans into constantly connected nodes in a global network. This has changed how we think, socialize, and perceive time and space. We're becoming a hybrid species, neither fully offline nor online, but existing in both spaces simultaneously. Social media has evolved from simple communication platforms into engines that shape public opinion, political movements, and personal identity. We're witnessing the emergence of digital tribalism, where online communities can become more important than physical ones, fundamentally changing how human societies organize themselves. Perhaps most significantly, this era marks humanity's transition from using tools to merging with them. The line between human and machine capabilities is blurring, raising fundamental questions about what it means to be human in an increasingly digital world. BIOTECH Age 2010. The biotech age isn't just about medical advances, it's about humanity gaining the power to edit the code of life itself. With tools like CRISPR, we're becoming authors of evolution, able to modify genes with precision previously unimaginable. This era marks our transition from being passive recipients of biological inheritance to active designers of life. We can now cure genetic diseases, create new organisms, and potentially enhance human capabilities. This power brings unprecedented ethical challenges about what we should do, not just what we can do. The COVID-19 pandemic showed both our vulnerability to biological threats and our incredible capacity to respond with scientific innovation. The development of mRNA vaccines in record time demonstrated how biotechnology has revolutionized our ability to fight disease. The merger of artificial intelligence with biotechnology is creating a new frontier in understanding life. We can now simulate biological processes, predict protein structures, and design new medicines with AI assistance. This combination is accelerating our ability to manipulate living systems. Most profoundly, this age is forcing us to confront fundamental questions about human nature. As we gain the ability to modify our own biology, we must decide what aspects of our nature we want to preserve or enhance. Space Exploration ERA 2020. This new space age is fundamentally different from the first one. It's driven not just by government agencies, but by private companies and entrepreneurs. This commercialization of space is making cosmic exploration more dynamic and innovative than ever before. We're witnessing the first serious attempts to make humanity a multi-planetary species. SpaceX's Mars plans, lunar base projects, and asteroid mining initiatives aren't just about exploration. They're about expanding the human habitat beyond Earth and accessing the vast resources of space. The development of reusable rockets isn't just a technical achievement, it's revolutionary in making space access affordable enough for regular commercial use. This could transform everything from global communications to manufacturing, with the potential for zero-gravity factories producing unique materials. Space technology is also changing life on Earth. Satellite internet is bringing connectivity to remote regions, while Earth observation satellites are helping us monitor climate change, predict weather patterns, and manage natural resources more effectively. Perhaps most importantly, this era is expanding humanity's perspective. As we look outward to space, we're gaining new insights about our place in the cosmos and the preciousness of our planet. Metaverse ERA present. The metaverse isn't just virtual reality. It's the beginning of humanity creating parallel digital worlds with their own economies, societies, and cultures. This represents the first time in history that humans can create and inhabit completely designed realities. This era is blurring the line between physical and digital existence. Virtual real estate, digital art, NFTs, and cryptocurrency aren't just new assets. They're the building blocks of an entirely new kind of human experience, where digital scarcity and ownership become as meaningful as physical ones. The social implications are profound. The metaverse offers the potential for people to live multiple lives, assume different identities, and participate in societies unconstrained by physical limitations or geographical boundaries. This could fundamentally change how we think about identity, community, and human relationships. The merger of physical and digital reality through augmented reality isn't just technological, it's creating a new kind of human perception, where digital information becomes as fundamental to our experience as physical sensations. Perhaps most significantly, this era raises fundamental questions about the nature of reality itself. As digital worlds become more sophisticated and immersive, the distinction between real and virtual experiences becomes increasingly philosophical rather than practical.